Good morning, ladies. Welcome to day 2 of prep week. I wanted to hop on today and just go into a little more detail about some of the elements of the program. If you haven't had a chance to introduce yourself on the Facebook page yet, if you please do that today to share a little bit about yourself and what your one main goal for this 6 weeks is. So I'm going to share my screen with you today, and I just kind of want to walk through the portal. So hopefully you've had a chance to get the portal downloaded, been able to look over it a little bit so you're more familiar with it. So this is the portal, and when you log in, you'll be directed to this page. We are in prep week, and then this is the comprehensive program guide. Hopefully you've had a chance to scroll through that. I'm going to just go through a few parts of it today. This section here, you're able to list your measurements. So if you haven't yet taken your measurements, I strongly suggest you do. It is truly going to be the best indicator of your success through this program. And so take your measurements now, make sure you have them written down so that then you can compare them at the end of the 6 weeks. So I think you're able to print this off right from the portal, and you can keep that for your records. So this program implements 2 cutting-edge nutritional strategies, and the first one is carb cycling. Carb cycling is just an intentional variation of carb intake, and we will have our low-carb days and our high-carb days. We're going to have 2 low-carb days each week, and the rest of the days we will have carb goals that we will be aiming for. And the intermittent fasting is just an eating schedule. We are going to be shortening your feeding window and eating within an 8-hour feeding time. So my suggestion would be to, if you've never done this before, to maybe not jump straight into it, to each day start shortening your window to get it down to an 8-hour period through the day. So for me, what works best with my schedule is I usually begin eating around 11, and then I stop eating by 7 p.m. each night. And that works for me, but depending on your schedule, you'll have to, it doesn't matter where the window falls in the day, just that it is an 8-hour feeding window, and feel free to adjust that to your schedule. All right, and then we'll be preparing our food intake with the workouts we're doing. So on our low carb days, in order to effectively reach our fat stores, we're going to be engaging in our fasted sprinted workouts. So low carb day, we're going to do our speed burst or sprint workouts. We're going to be aiming for consuming less than 50 net carbs. And so on your MyFitnessPal, you're able to check your macro goals, and you're able to, after you've entered in your food for the day, you can go into the nutrient section, and it will tell you how many total carbs you've eaten that day, how much total fiber you've eaten, and you're going to subtract those 2 numbers, and that's going to give you your total net carbs. You want that number to be less than 50 on your low carb days. For the other days of the week, the grams of carbs you consume will depend upon your goals. For me, after entering all my information on a normal calorie day, my goal for total carbs is 225 grams, which would be 50% of what I consume that day. My protein goal is 90 grams, and my fat goal is 60 grams, and that breaks down to a 50, 20, 30 percentage. And that's what I'm aiming for all the other days except for my low carb days. And on those low carb days, when you go and you look at your macros and you look at that pie chart, you're going to see, and I always get questions, my fat's way too high, my protein's too high. That's going to happen on your low carb days because it is a percentage, and you're eating such a small percentage of carbs that day, your fats and proteins, or the percentages, are going to be way high, and that's okay on those days. So during low carbs, this kind of gives you some ideas of what to eat and what not to eat. On my low carb days, I eat a lot of veggies and a lot of protein, and I do incorporate in some nuts, seeds, avocados. So you just don't want to overeat and have your fat intake be way high, but definitely add in some nuts, seeds, healthy fats on those days. Foods that you're going to want to avoid would be your potatoes, your rice, any starchy vegetables, peas, corn. Most fruits, if you're keeping track and you're eating real low carbs, some days you are able to fit in a few berries. Berries are pretty low in carbs, so oftentimes I'll throw in a few strawberries or blueberries in a protein smoothie at the end of the day if I'm trying to get enough calories in. And that's another, on low carb days, the biggest challenge is going to be consuming enough calories. So you really just want to focus on calorie dense, nutritious fats, proteins, and to get your calorie intake up that day. So oftentimes, if I get to the end of the day, I need more calories, it's a great way to make a protein shake. You can throw in peanut butter, some nuts, protein powder to get your calories up on your low carb day. We'll also engage in what we call training day calories, and that's the day we'll do our hardest workout, which is your leg day. And on that day, there is room for what we're going to call transgressionary calories. So this is treat day. So if you love donuts or cake, cupcakes, ice cream, whatever it is that you crave or is your treat that you enjoy, this is the day you'd be able to have those treats. And it's not above and beyond our calories or our macros. We want to still enter it into the MyFitnessPal, make sure it fits within our macros and our calories, but we can have some extra treats on those days. And that is Saturday on leg day. And then we'll also have 2 active recovery days throughout the week, usually on our Friday and Sunday. And these are days where we're kind of letting our body rest. And because we're not going to be quite as active, we're going to actually reduce our calories by 25%. And if you look here in the portal, it gives you the formula to just take your total calories and multiply it by the 25% to get your low calorie number. So in the example, if you normally consume 1,500 on your low calorie days, you're going to aim for 1,125 calories. And on these active recovery days, it's a great day to take a long walk, maybe a leisurely bike ride. On my active recovery days, these are when I enjoy my yoga classes. So I would highly suggest adding some type of yoga or stretching into your weekly workouts. It's just going to help keep your muscles stretched, your joints loose and limber, and it helps to prevent you from injuries. Okay, and then we'll also have our regular calorie days. So we're going to use the MyFitnessPal recommendations. We're going to aim to reach our calorie goal and our macros goal for that day. And this will be another weighted workout. These are on our Wednesdays and our Thursdays. Right, there's a couple videos in here that if you haven't already to watch, Amanda Trust, the creator of them, has provided these videos. And so if you want more detailed information, go ahead and click on those. And then as you go through and you want to get some ideas of foods to eat, there are some sample menu plans and a few recipes throughout the rest of the portal. This Faster Way to Fat Loss does suggest trying out gluten, grain, and dairy-free. And my suggestion is I would go as gluten and dairy-free as possible the first 6 weeks. My first 6-week round, I followed it. I eliminated dairy and gluten. And then the next round I started trying to incorporate it back in to kind of see if any of it was causing me trouble. And what I found was that I can handle a little bit of dairy. I always choose the organic, best dairy I can buy, a little bit of cheese, and I use a little bit of half and half on my coffee. But when I started incorporating back in the breads and the gluten, I noticed more bloating than normal. So for me, I've tried to eliminate gluten as much as possible, but I have incorporated back in a little bit of dairy. So I would suggest try going gluten and dairy free. You might have some allergies to it that you didn't even realize. And once you go off of it and then introduce it back in, you'll be able to tell if indeed they have been giving you issues. All right, so let's go back. And I just want to go through where you'll find your workouts. So if you go back to prep week and then click on the sample workouts. So Mondays and Tuesdays are going to be our sprints and our low intensity cardio days. These are the days we're going to be, because we're consuming low carbs, it's going to allow when we do these exercises, our body to really tap into the fat stores. One thing you're going to notice after, especially by the end of the low carb day, Wednesday morning, you're going to feel a little weak, maybe a little agitated, especially the first few weeks of the program as your body adapts to these low carb days. And so that's totally normal. So Mondays and Tuesdays, low carbs and sprints. Regular calorie days on Wednesdays, we're going to work legs, chest, shoulders. On these workouts, I want you, especially if you have not worked out before or it's been a long time, I don't want you to jump full board in and get so sore or injured right off the bat. It's not fun to sustain an injury right away or to be so sore after one workout that you can't do the next day's workout. So honestly, take it slow, do half of what's suggested here, half the reps, half the sets, see how you feel the next day, and then you can start gradually increasing it. But my number one priority is that you do not get injured. So please know your body, ease yourself into it. And if you know that you have some knee issues or different joint issues, you can completely modify or eliminate a move that's going to irritate those joints. If you're not sure of how a move should be performed, click on the link, the lighted link here, and it will take you to a video that will show you the proper way to perform that exercise. Okay, so then we are on to Thursdays. Again, is regular calorie day. We're going to be we're doing some stomach, back, biceps, and triceps. And then Fridays are active recovery day. We're going to decrease our calories, and we're going to take the day off completely, which is totally fine. Or you could do 60 minutes suggested, just walking, biking, swimming, something, keeping your heart rate in the fat burning zone. So keeping your heart rate low. Then Saturday is our training day. This is going to be our most intensive workout of the week. This is where you will be able to have your transgressionary calories. Again, after one of these workouts, you will be sore. So please either just do one set of each, or half the reps, or only do a couple exercises for the first time, and then see how you feel the next day. And each week, you can just start increasing your weight or increasing the reps, increasing the sets. But just take it slowly so that you're not so sore that you can't continue. All right, and then Sunday again will be our other active recovery, low calorie day. So that's what our typical week looks like. And so after prep week, then we have all 6 weeks are in the portal now, which is good. So each week you will just click on. You will be able to choose whether, if you just started out, I'd suggest doing the beginner workouts. They aren't necessarily easy, but they are a little easier than the gym or home workout. So you may want to stick with that if you haven't worked out in a long time. Stick with those for the first few weeks, or you can choose your gym or your home workout. So take some time, maybe go through and compare the different workouts, decide which one's going to work best for you as we get ready to begin. Jump right in on Monday. So if you have any questions, I know it's a lot of information, but that's what this week is about. Just taking each day, going over things, and asking questions, getting your questions answered so that by Monday you're ready to jump in. So if you've decided to go ahead and try some of the carb cycling, either intermittent fasting, or if you're documenting your calories, feel free. If you want to share, I'm going to share my macro chart at the end of the day, excuse me, in the comment section. So I'm just going to take a snapshot, post it in there, so you'll be able to see what that looks like. So on a low carb day, we will also do the calculation, figure out our total net carbs, and also post that. So I will do that at the end of the day today, so you'll have an example of what that looks like. If this is your second or third round, feel free to go ahead and post your macro chart with me at the end of the day. So feel free to post your questions, and I will talk to you soon. Bye-bye.